What up, everyone? Juicy J, Ice, we here at it. Dude, let's chat. It's just the dynamic duo for this week. Sadly, Work in Progress couldn't be here. Brent, have fun on your trip. Casey, have fun being that giant orb in the sky that we always see. But Ice, it's us again, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I watched the episode today.
There we
Um,
go.
it was an episode.
Well, I mean, we might as well just jump right into it. You know how it be. You know me, I like it. It's doing very well by the source material, in my opinion, with a few extra things. I really did like this episode. It's setting up for one of my favorite dungeons. And really, that's really just my hot take to it. It's an episode, huh? Not good, not bad. Just kind of like keeping the thumb in the middle here. Like,
Well, you did mention in the first episode. It's here. It's here. Yeah.
dang.
Ugh.
Whoa.
No, you did mention on our first episode that you're like they're showing the island pretty early,
Hmm.
right? And I didn't ask you this because I was thinking about it, and they showed the island in the first place, and the rich kid's dad is making or attempting to make a guild because he's like these five guilds. Five, is it six guilds or five? It's five, right?
Five guilds, five main guilds right now in Korea.
Yeah, they
Well,
they
in their setting.
monopolized the hunting and getting the resources for everyday
Hmm.
life, and the father's like, yo, like we need to get a piece of that pie, right? And um that's like the son the father and son seem to have a weird dynamic going on there. Because considering he bought him all this nice armor, you'd think it'd be like a loving, like, I'm proud of you, son. I'm so proud that you're a hunter, and I want this guild. Because at no point is he saying like, I want to make this guild and I want you to lead, right? And that's the whole point of his 20 or now 19 C rank dungeons to apply for it to be a guild master.
Hmm. It's
And then
competition between him and his brother or
right,
brothers. I don't
right,
remember.
yeah, but you know it, but in the midst of all that, they try to recruit the S rank chick to be the guild master, and then they go to the guy, the redhead, and he's talking about the island again. Talking about you left something back there, and I want to clear it. And off of, just from that, I'm assuming there was a dungeon there. They couldn't close it. Monsters came out, and it's like Jurassic Park, basically. And so my thing is, you said the whole thing was in the first episode was too soon. But now you're
Mhm.
talking about wanting to go and exterminate whatever's there. Does that interfere with the story, or is that still kind of similar?
No, no, that's actually in the story. So what we're seeing right now is, and I want to believe it was, I'd have to go back and actually refresh my memory on it. I do want to believe though that it was around this time they brought up the island, or at least a failed dungeon, and
Mhm.
that like they were eventually going to, try to go back again. Although if my memory serves me correctly, the redheaded leader dude, he didn't seem near as noble as he did in this. It's more he's always crafty.
Right.
Like he has his own points to it, but but he is like he agrees with everybody else who was there. It's like it was still a failure. They want to get back to it, sure. But the part that we saw was complete filler, if you will, or rather just fluff. Like the part we saw about them struggling on the island, stuff like that, the island wasn't even a concept until around this point where we started hearing about it, you know? Where we started hearing about it, and at one point they explain a little bit about the island, and
So,
like, yeah.
so the whole battle sequence that we saw, right?
Hmm.
Because at this point, that was in the past. Like they've already did it. It's donezo.
Yeah, yeah, that was the past.
But in the manhwa, did they show like that whole sequence, or
No.
is it just like they talk about, hey, do you remember like just I never read it, so I'm just gonna, obviously I'm just gonna
Yeah.
word it my way. But like basically, you remember the back in the day when we tried to do this thing and it didn't work out? I want to go do it now. Is that kind of like the gist of it? There was no backstory,
Yeah, there would like
no
they would
sequences,
hint.
no like. But yeah, they're like hints, but they never really went like, here's what happened. This is exactly what happened. The ants killed your best friends or brothers or whoever.
Mm.
It was just, that one time that thing happened, and I want to
Sort
go back and
yeah,
clean it up.
yeah. So that's ultimately whenever you find out about it, it's after what we've already figured out about dungeons, where they said, "Hey, if you don't close it in time, it breaks open." And they mentioned that, I believe, in either this one or a couple of episodes prior. You
Well,
have
they
to
mentioned
clear
that.
the.
They mentioned it in the first episode, I think, either the first or
Okay,
second one. They mentioned it really early.
the concept could also be there. I mean, like they did, of course, in the original stuff too. But like the thing is, it's becoming more like, hey, but this did happen. We can't have another repeat of that situation. Um, and in fact, like now that I'm saying that, and I could, like I said, I'd have to go back and read it again. But um, I want to say that was more the premise
Just to
of it.
be
Was
sure,
like we
you did
can't
read
have
it,
it.
right? You,
Of
you read it when
course,
it first came out, right?
I
You
did.
you were ahead of the curve before the anime even dropped, right?
I did. And well, and that's what I'm like. Oh, I feel so bad. I should go back and read these things before we have the talk. So my whole thing is I'm watching it. All of my stuff is up at my office, which I am buying
No,
all
you're
the stuff
fine.
that's coming out here. But anyway, um, but yes, it is. I want to say it was more of a we can't have a repeat. We can't have a repeat
Right.
of that, and we don't really know the name of the island until around this time. But we get little hints as to what happened. Like I said, like okay, well, obviously it broke open, wasn't good. Um,
Hmm.
and as you saw it in the very beginning, so I guess it's not too much of a spoiler. You saw that it was a bunch of bugs,
Right,
a
right,
bunch of
right.
bugs, and they mentioned it's an island. So even with the breakout there, if there are any other monsters or animals or whatever, they probably can't cross the sea right now.
Right, and
Um,
then he even mentioned like
going back
no,
and
like
clear.
no one goes there. Just people just go on the shore, do like a basically an inspection, and then once a year they let the civilians know if anything has changed with the
Yeah,
island,
yeah.
in
So no
case
one
to where
ventures
like
in.
they decide to learn how to swim.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're on that side. So as soon as it gets concerning, that's when it's problem. It's like as soon as they learn, or as soon as they perceive it as a threat, or as soon as they're ready, they'll go back to it. But let's be fair, it's a race with time with that. These are still magical beasts. But either way,
And
I
they're
mean that's
still, and
good.
I'm sure, just to touch on Minecraft a bit, it's a spawning point, right? So like, not only were the things that were out the only things, they're still, it's a continuous flow, right?
Hmm.
So at
Well,
some point it'll
so
be
so there's not. That's a little harder. There's technically a set number, but you have to accept the fact that they are real.
breeding.
So breeding, there we go. Like breeding is the
Yeah.
better word. Like there was a set number, but they're breeding. Yeah. So it's not even just what was in the gate that came out. It's now everything and however
So
long they've been going. So
it's not the fact that the gate's open, because everything that was within the gate is already out, right? It's already out
mhm,
on the island. So
mhm.
if they were to wipe the island, regardless if the gate was closed or not, it wouldn't matter anymore since they're all out in the open. Or would they have
S-
to go in and fight a dungeon boss?
so the thing about the gates and everything coming out is that things will start coming out, and the dungeon boss is able to come out into
Okay.
our world. And so once you beat the dungeon boss, it will clear it. The gate does still exist, but it's kind of like pointless because at this point it's just a gate. Now instead of us
Yeah.
going into there, they're coming to us. Now we got to beat them just to close it, to stop it all.
Right.
And
Right.
so
Right.
that's the whole focus for it. Actually, and this isn't this. There is a dungeon that's even better, but this one is definitely the one that we're about to do is amazing, and I like it. And it's just I like this show, and I like the development of Sung and just everything about it. Like me, I've got that bias for it. It's definitely solo leveling something I've been looking forward to. I've been bringing it up a lot. Obviously, made that video just kind of talking about the history a bit. You know, I love it. But just the same, this was still a slower episode. We just had a recap episode, just coming into another kind of exposition heavy, or, storytelling heavy, just kind of setting things up for the next sequence. So, as we discussed previously, it's most likely going to be a two-parter for this dungeon coming in. And so if it is a two-parter, we'll just put something up in the community posts and just let y'all know, hey, look forward to full review of the dungeon itself coming in a couple of weeks. If
Mhm.
not, though, look forward to seeing us. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I personally love the episode. You're kind of on the fence with this episode here, but it was a lot of storytelling. Really, nothing more about him
Well, it
exploring
just.
anything.
I mean, it wasn't a bad episode. Like it was fine, right? You know, and like with most animes, you're gonna have those down times, which is fine because if the build up meets the hype or the potential of the hype, then I'm like, yeah, like it was totally worth it.
Mm.
But as of right now, it was okay. I mean, it is kind of funny how the people that abandoned Jinwoo, right?
Jinu or
Or
Jinwoo, yeah.
Jinu,
Hmm.
Jinwoo, whatever, Jinwoo, yeah. Um, how like the whole like everybody that abandoned him, they're squatting up again, and then they're like don't even wanna look at him. Whereas the chick and the elder guy, I forgot his name, which who apparently is not older in the end in the manga or manhwa. He's young, so
He's not. He's not. He's not young. Are you talking about the guy who abandoned him for his kid? Or are you talking about the one arm, Mr.
the one
Kim,
arm guy.
Miss Skip? So he is older, but not like he's even not necessarily older here, but he's older than the main group. You know,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
he is an experienced person. I always loved his character, and of course, it touched on it here as well. It's like it just sucks because I spent my whole life training with the sword, then I get these powers, and suddenly I'm a magic user. Doesn't help anything. Like it doesn't mean anything because my strength will never compare to the power I have just
Yeah,
in the basic spells, and so and that's part of
I
it, it's
respect him
the
too,
minor
though.
things. Yeah, I love him. I
I
love
respect him
everything about.
because like I like how like he unlike the rest of them, he's self aware of what happened, the situation, still wants to take point, which is smart too. Because even though, because then again, he was against going through it.
He
They had
was.
a vote to push him through, so his judgment wasn't really bad. The only thing I would question in his judgment was the whole voting. Like, no, you know the rules, leave.
So
You
that
know?
was that. So and again, this comes back to back in the day when I read that and it came to this part. I always loved the fact that Mr. Kim is trying to redeem himself. I think that's absolutely fantastic. You know,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it was a poor leadership skill at the beginning, and a lot of people. And I say a lot of people, just a few that I've talked to back in the day, where they were just like, well, no, he gave him a vote and stuff. It's democracy. Blah, blah. I mean, Helldivers too here, managed democracy there, right? Like, but if you are truly a leader, it was something new, unexperienced, nothing like that. You got to take point. And since you are the leader, you have to take the responsibility of your decision. So, and he
mhm,
does. But I'm saying that, like, from the outside perspective, I don't give him any quarter either. You took point, you asked to be appointed as the leader, everyone looked up to you as the leader. You should have just made a decision and just accepted it from there. You should have been like, no, this is
yeah.
outside of our, or you should have been like,
Because
nah, let's keep going.
if it was a democracy, you don't need a leader.
Mm-mm.
everyone,
Exactly.
everyone would just vote on everything. But that,
Exactly.
but yeah, no, but I do like that. And what I like to do around this time of the episode is not to give a prediction because, like I said, this is all new to me.
I want
So
to
here's
hear
what
it.
I predict. Here's what I predict. Here's what I predict. All right, all right. So purple hair guy has 3 convicts,
Mm.
and of course they say they shouldn't be no problem. He's a B ranked. They're all C, so he should have no issues. Controlling them or like keeping them
In
well
check.
mannered
Yeah, yeah.
and check. Here's what I think. They're gonna go AWOL. I mean, they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna go bananas. They're gonna try to do some razzle dazzle on them. Purple hair guy is gonna be like, oh no. and the rest of the gangs and be like, "Oh no!" And then Jinwoo, main character, is like, "I have the power to stop them, but I can't let them know my secret." And then purple hair guys and be like, I'm gonna see what I can do." And of course, those they said he could take care of all of them. I'm sure they're gonna be surrounded by monsters, so he's gonna probably get distracted. You know, um, let me think. What else? What else would be on them? Oh, and then maybe something like a big boss shows up and they're all helpless, and he's like, "Dang, now I got to show them my full potential." And he shows them, and the purple hair guy is like, "I knew there was something off about you." And then he reports them. His secret is blown, and that's it. He has to move to America and work at McDonald's.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
McDonald's to get the secret sauce.
Man. Well, I look forward to seeing if that
How close was
prediction.
I? Did I hit anything? I threw a pretty wide net.
You did. So you did hit you did hit
Don't
a
tell me what
point.
I hit. Just say I hit something.
You hit something. Yeah, like I'm trying to count the yeah, but I won't say number. But you hit point, you know? So I look
This is
forward
McDonald's,
to
ain't it?
hmm?
It's him working at McDonald's, ain't it?
McDonald's, but yeah, yeah. I mean, like, come on,
McDonald's,
yeah.
McDonald's, yeah.
We can't be blatantly stealing
Which
it.
I just want to say real quick, the McDonald's anime, it's great. Like the visuals of it, like just the art style and the visuals. I'm just like, okay, you know what, Mickey D's? I don't mind if you make an anime and you want to make it like an ad, give it the wizard treatment, make it entertaining with some subtle advertising in there. Because visually, I'm like, this looks amazing for just a commercial.
Yeah,
As a,
yeah. See, and I always thought that what is it? Devil is a part-timer was nothing more than a giant McDonald's advertisement, but
eh.
that's a whole nother story. But man, thank you for coming on, of course. It's always
Mhm.
a pleasure to talk about solo leveling. This was a great episode to me. It was a meh episode for Ice, but we'll see what he thinks as we continue going. Y'all know where to find us. Dude, let's chat on your podcasting platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Obviously, you need to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get the notifications from when we're going live, when we're putting new stuff out. Ice, anything else you'd like to
Uh,
add?
yeah. So me and Mr. Twan Hanks,
Yo,
we're
Twan
we're do- we're
Hanks.
doing. We have a little show going on called Checkpoint, and we basically it's strictly just video games. And once I guess I don't know what Jacob's up to, but I would like to go back to our normal podcasting stuff. But for now, I kind of like the way we have our anime here. Then we'll do the gaming here, and then Juice could be in it too. Like it's not just been me and Twan, but it's just a gaming and anime,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows whatever we may sprinkle in. Like
We
we
need
don't
to
know.
get
But
back to
anyways,
comics, but
my brother's been reading and that post. Like I don't know what to do. But yeah, no, that comes out every Wednesday. And just like this, they're short, like I think 15 minutes at the longest per episode. So stop by, check it out, leave a comment of a topic in the gaming world you want us to talk about. And yeah.
yeah. And honestly, tell us what you thought of this episode. Leave it down in the comments below. Tell us if you got some criticisms. We appreciate any and everything. So until next time,
Mhm.
friends, stay happy, stay healthy, stay beautiful.